Hi guys, today I am out as you know, and we talked about yesterday, so we're going to do some video notes, a bingo assignment, and the green worksheet that you picked up when you came into class. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is put these graphing notes into your science notebook on page 39, and then we're going to go through the PowerPoint and fill in the blanks. So when you come into class, it looks like this, and you're going to need to trim it down and put it onto page 39. And the other handout looks like this, and that's going to be the assignment you do after the notes and the bingo assignment. I am thinking it will be 15 minutes for notes, 15 minutes for the bingo assignment, 15 minutes for the green worksheet. You should be able to get it all done in class if you stay really focused. So keep that in mind as you're working today. Anything you don't complete is going to be homework for you over the weekend. As far as the Rainbow Lab from yesterday, you don't need to worry about it if you didn't answer all the questions yet. There's no bingo assignment due for that yet. We will revisit that on Monday when I come back to class. So let's get started on the notes. Just give me a second to get there. Okay. So today we are going to look at 4 different types of graphs, and you need to be able to determine the correct graph to use when you complete a science investigation, and you need to be able to read a graph. By the end of the year, you will also be able to construct a graph. But right now, for the upcoming assessment, it's just figuring out what is the right type of graph to use in a certain situation and how to get information off of a graph. So on a graph is data, and data is information. An example is my 5th grade class, we took a pizza lover survey. We learned that 10 kids like pepperoni pizza best, 9 kids like sausage pizza best, and 7 kids like cheese pizza best. This information is called data. So it's the numbers: 10 pepperoni, 9 sausage, 7 cheese. So if a mom was planning a pizza party for the class, she would need the pizza lover survey data. And so she knows how much to order. Your report card is another example of data. These are your percentages in your different classes, and they would be converted into letter grades. So they tell you how you are doing in your different classes. Data is everywhere. It's on TV, it's in newspaper, it's in books, and there's a ton of data at school. You know, all those quizzes we take on Schoology? Every time we do that, we're collecting data. People use data to make money. We use data to help us solve problems. Data is needed to build things. But data can be confusing. Lists of numbers can get really overwhelming and hard to remember and hard to compare. So what can we do with all that information? We use graphs to organize data. So here's that report card information all put in a bar graph. And it's really easy to see the one class where we have concerns, which is language arts. Graphs make data easier to understand. So once it's organized, it's easier to compare. If I look at a data table of all the different animals on the farm, it takes me longer to figure out which one is the least, which one is the most. But if I look at it on a graph, you can clearly see chickens are the most very quickly. So graphs make data easier to understand. There are many different types of graphs. There are 2 kinds that we're going to talk about right now: the bar graph and the line graph. Bar graphs compare how much or how many. So how much is your score in each class in this graph? Or in the previous paragraph, it was how many of each type of animal. If we had done the pizza party survey in a graph, it would have been how many of each type of pizza, or how much pepperonis, how much sausage, how much cheese. A line graph shows changes over time. So in this graph, it doesn't really work because down here it has math, reading, science, social studies, language, arts. Those are not over time. So that graph isn't actually a line graph. A line graph could be like the average temperature over a course of a year. Pie charts are used to show percentages. So the whole pie is 100%, and the bigger the pie, the bigger the percentage it equals. So if 42.9% of your grades are at a level B, 14% of your grades are an A, 7% of students have a D, and 35.7% of students have a C. So this tells me how much each group of students are compared to the whole class. And then finally, a scatter plot shows the relationship between the X and Y axis. So height compared to weight, or you already could have made a line graph this year where you did heart rate versus pulse rate. We could have done for density, you can do mass and volume. You can do reaction time and age. So it's just when you're comparing any two things, it looks similar to a line graph. The main difference is that on a line graph, the x-axis is going to be some kind of a time, minutes, hours, seconds, days, years, decades, etc. Where on a scatter plot, you can have anything on the x-axis. It doesn't just have to be time. So different types of graphs can show the same data. This bar graph and this line graph have the same information on it. All graphs must include the following things. You need a title explaining what the graph is representing. The title goes on top of the graph. You need a label for the X and Y axis, and the label must have a unit. You need an accurate scale for the y-axis. So that means that you are counting by even jumps or spaces of numbers. So like 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 would be counting by twos, but you can't go 0, 4, 5, 6, 9, 11. You have to have an even scale or a consistent scale. And it needs to be spaced out correctly for the data that you have. Then the independent variable goes on the x-axis, and remember the independent variable is the variable that you change or you are in control of, and the dependent variable goes on the y-axis. So again, you've done this before. The independent variable, for example, in the heart rate lab was how active you were, and the dependent variable was your heart rate, or the independent variable was the activity and the dependent variable was the breathing rate. So you could have graphed those two things. So on this bar graph, you have the y-axis with an even scale. They're counting by tens. The x-axis labeled with the independent variable. The thing that I am changing is the course that I'm in. On the line graph, you also have the x-axis and the y-axis. This is the variable I'm changing. This is the dependent variable, and your grade depends on the class that you're in. So when you're reading a bar graph, you're going to look at the title. This is about my grades. Then you're going to go from the y-axis and you're going to read over. So math, you have a 90%. Language arts, you have a 55%. And I know that because I started from over here, in between the 50 and the 60, I go across and it reaches up to 55. In this example, we have the number of animals on the farm. And instead of labeling the bars, we made a key, a color-coded key, or a legend. So which bar on this graph represents 45 feet? Is it red, blue, green, or pink? Red is 40, green is 50, pink is 35, blue is 45. If you guessed 45, you are correct. I'm sorry, if you guessed blue. Here's another challenge. At Elm Street School, students have computer class once a week. The chart shows the number of minutes each class spends in the computer lab. So here's the grade level, here's the number of minutes. What is the most appropriate graph of the information shown in the chart? So third is 25, the scale is correct. The x-axis has the independent variable, which is the grade level. So third is 25, fourth is 30, fifth is 35, sixth is 45. If I look at graph B, third goes to 25, that matches the data in the data table. Fourth goes to 35, that does not match the data in the data table, so that graph cannot be correct. So that's it for the notes. On the bottom of your note screen, or on your bottom of your notes page, you have to identify the 4 types of graphs. So on this paper right here, you should have all your notes filled in. We will go through and write questions for our Cornell notes together on Monday. And then you're going to identify the 4 types of graphs. So this one is over time, which you can't really see. It's over, it looks like months of the year. And then I can see the word time very, very tiny right here. So if a graph is over time, was it bar graph, line graph, pie chart, or scatter plot? Look at the notes right here. Which one do you get? Right, line graph is a change over time. Next, you have something that looks similar to a line graph, but the difference is it's not over time, it's over something else. So this is car price depending upon your age. So this is how much you spend on a car versus how old you are. And this is going to be a scatter plot. The circle with the slices in it, remember, is a pie chart. It's in the shape of a pie. And this is a bar graph. So you can just go ahead and write those names: line graph, pie chart, scatter plot, bar graph. And then these notes are done. The next thing that you're going to do is on the top of page 38 in your notebook, you're going to write the inquiry question: what are some types of graphs? And how do I know which type of graph to use? So you're going to write that right next to your notes on page 38. So Miss Grandel needs to update her notebook too. So you're going to have this in your notebook on page 38. And you're going to have over here your bingo assignment. And at the very top, you're going to write the question: what are some types of graphs and how do I know which type of graph to use? Then you're going to answer that question with a bingo assignment of your choice. So remember, on the second page of your science notebook, you have all of your bingo assignment ideas listed. And if you don't know what they are or you need to see a visual example, remember that you can go into Schoology. So I will go ahead and do that. You're going to go into Schoology, which you're already in because that's where these notes are. And you're going to go into your science course. It's just take me a few clicks to get there. So if you scroll down